Imagine a family whose name is synonymous with wealth, power, and mystery. A family that for centuries has played a role in shaping the world's financial landscape and political affairs. We're about to embark on a journey into the fascinating history of the Rothschilds, the richest family in the world, with a net worth of a whopping $500 billion. This wealthy family's influence spans generations and continents. From their beginnings in a small German town to their rise as banking magnates, join us as we unveil the captivating tale of the Rothschilds and the secrets behind their enduring legacy. Strong foundation in an unfavorable environment. Let's begin by understanding the family roots. Who started building the financial mega empire? Let's take a look at the family tree. The Rothschild family tree is huge, and you'll even see some of the names repeating throughout. This is because the nomenclature during that time often had junior or Roman numerals alongside names to denote different generations. In the case of the Rothschilds, you'll see first baron, second baron, and so on. We will explain this status of nobility shortly. During the 1700s, the Jewish community faced significant challenges as they were considered second-class citizens, enduring various forms of discrimination and persecution. Jews were subject to curfews, couldn't engage in certain trades or practices, and faced numerous restrictions. They were prohibited from venturing beyond Jew Street during evenings, Sundays, or festive occasions. An onerous poll tax and protection money weighed on them, and they were denied the right to own land or engage in agricultural and artisanal pursuits. Every bridge crossing came with a toll, while taverns and fashionable streets remained closed to them. The daily life of Jews was marred by frequent harassment from street urchins, often resulting in abuse or stoning. The period was also marked by distressing occurrences such as violent pogroms and large-scale evictions. Despite all the odds stacked against them, the Rothschilds worked their way up to the very top over the centuries. How did a Jewish family start thriving in such trying times? How did they achieve such status and respect in an environment that was so discriminatory? It all began with Meyer Rothschild. He was born in 1744 and grew up within the confines of a ghetto in Frankfurt, part of the German Duchy of Hesse. His childhood home was a bustling space housing around 30 extended family members. Early on, Meyer absorbed knowledge of the business realm, influenced by his father Amsel Musa Rothschild's endeavors in coins, silk, and trade. Tragedy struck at the age of 12 when Meyer lost his mother following the prior passing of his father. Although Meyer's parents intended him to pursue a traditional Jewish education, he veered towards a different path. Assisted by relatives, Meyer Amschel managed to secure an apprenticeship with Jacob Wolf Oppenheimer at the banking firm of Simon Wolf Oppenheimer in Hanover in 1757. During this period, he acquired valuable insights into foreign trade and currency exchange. In 1763, at the age of 19, he returned to his brother's business in Frankfurt. There, he delved into the trade of rare coins and gained the favor of Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse, who had previously supported Meyer Amschel's father. As his coin business flourished, it attracted several princely patrons, and Meyer Amschel extended his services to Crown Prince Wilhelm, contributing to the growth of the business. In 1769, he was granted the title of court agent, entrusted with managing the finances of the immensely wealthy Elector of Hesse-Kassel, who would later become Wilhelm IX, Landgrave of Hesse-Kassel in 1785. The family enterprise's expansion gained momentum after the French Revolution, with Meyer Amschel overseeing payments from Britain for the enlistment of Hessian mercenaries. In 1770, Meyer Amschel Rothschild, the founder of the Rothschild banking business, entered into marriage with an exceptional woman named Gutla Schnapper. Their union was marked by deep affection, and Gutla remained rooted in her home on Judengasse or Jew Street in Frankfurt throughout her life. Their marriage led to the birth of 19 children, of whom 10 survived to adulthood. This balanced mix of 5 sons and 5 daughters would play roles of their own in the unfolding Rothschild saga. The family's name, Rothschild, derives from their residence in Frankfurt's Judengasse, known as Zum Rothenschild, or the House of the Red Shield. The family's coat of arms, established in 1817, has its roots in this period, while the motto Concordia Integritas Industria, meaning harmony, integrity, industry, was adopted in 1822, beginnings of the Rothschild businesses. By the early 19th century, Meyer Amschel Rothschild solidified his role as the principal international banker to Wilhelm II. He progressed beyond this by initiating his own international loans, utilizing capital borrowed from the Landgrave. In 1806, Napoleon's invasion of Hesse, prompted by Wilhelm's support for Prussia, led to the Landgrave seeking refuge in the Duchy of Holstein. Despite this upheaval, Rothschild maintained his role as the banker for Wilhelm, even investing funds in London. He took advantage of importing goods in ways that bypassed Napoleon's continental blockade, reaping financial benefits. Through these strategic endeavors, Meyer Amschel accumulated a substantial fortune. In 1810, he rebranded his firm as M.A. Rothschild & Sohne, which translates to M.A. Rothschild & Sons. He formed a partnership with with his 4 sons, who remained in Frankfurt, while his son Nathan Meyer Rothschild had already established his own businesses in Manchester and London. This marked a pivotal moment in the evolution of the Rothschild family's prominence and influence within the financial landscape. Unlike the 2 previous court factors in the empire, Meyer Rothschild managed to secure the continuation of his business through the next generations. He successfully passed down his wealth to his 5 sons, thereby laying the foundation for an enduring international business dynasty. These 5 sons, each stationed in a different European city, Frankfurt, London, Paris, Vienna, and Naples, expanded the family's enterprise across the continent. This period, from 1815 to 1914, saw the Rothschilds rise to prominence in the banking world. Several factors contributed to the remarkable growth of the Rothschild banking empire. One pivotal catalyst was the French Revolution, which presented opportunities for financial gain. Amidst wartime, the Austrian army engaged Rothschild to provide crucial supplies, such as wheat, uniforms, horses, and equipment. Additionally, he played a pivotal role in facilitating monetary transactions for Hessian mercenaries. These strategic moves propelled the Rothschild family into a position of significant influence and prominence within the financial landscape. Meyer Rothschild and his eldest son Amschel managed the expanding enterprise from Frankfurt, while other family members established branches across Europe. Nathan established a presence in London in 1804. Jacob aka James settled in Paris in 1812, and Salomon and Karl founded offices in Vienna and Naples in the 1820s. The tumultuous era of wars presented opportunities for the Rothschilds. They engaged in financing. Warring princes undertook both legal and illicit trading in crucial commodities and facilitated international payments. With the arrival of peace, the Rothschild business evolved. The family's banking activities retained an international dimension, but increasingly focused on handling government securities, stocks of insurance companies, and shares in industrial enterprises. This adaptation allowed the Rothschild family to thrive in the changing economic landscape brought about by the Industrial Revolution. They played an active role in Europe's economic expansion through investments in areas like railways, coal, ironworks, and metallurgy. In 1817, the Austrian emperor elevated Meyer Amschel Rothschild's 5 sons to a status within the nobility. This recognition bestowed upon them the privilege of adopting armorial bearings and adding the suffix von to their names. Accordingly, family members residing in Frankfurt and Vienna were addressed as von Rothschild. Meanwhile, branches situated in Paris and later Naples embraced the French style, using de in their names, such as James de Rothschild. Further enhancing their titles, they were bestowed with the rank of baron in 1822. Following the 1850s, the banking group experienced continued growth, with a notable achievement being its significant presence in the global trade of oil and non-ferrous metals. The Rothschilds family unity. To keep a huge business empire successful and running for more than 2 centuries is no easy task. Succeeding generations may have had different opinions or leadership skills, but the empire didn't crumble. How did the Rothschilds manage to keep the legacy going for so long? There are many contributing factors to their continued success. The enduring emblem of the Rothschild family, represented by 5 arrows, has become a lasting symbol. The initial depiction of a bundle of arrows as a representation of the family's identity emerged in the Austrian patent for arms in 1817, which elevated the Rothschild brothers to the first tier of nobility. And as we discussed earlier in this video, in 1822, their status within the Austrian nobility was further elevated, with the brothers attaining the title of barons of the empire. This emblem of 5 arrows also features in the English grant of arms, a petition successfully filed by Nathan Rothschild in 1818. This petition encompassed not only Nathan himself, but also all of his brothers and their descendants. Nathan's design showcased a lion holding in its paw a bundle of 5 arrows. This emblem has continued to symbolize the enduring legacy and influence of the Rothschild family. The motif of the 5 arrows began to be embraced by many members of the Rothschild family. This emblem found its way onto various platforms such as letterheads, bookplates, porcelain, jewelry, and other decorative items. Historical artifacts reveal that in the mid-19th century, some individuals within the family preferred to have the arrows pointing upwards. A noticeable divergence in usage emerged between the French family and bank, where arrows up became the preferred orientation for all applications of the symbol. On the other hand, the English branch remained consistent with the arrows down version. Consequently, in the Rothschild business network, arrows down are employed for N.M. Rothschild and Sons, its subsidiaries and associated companies, while arrows up are used for Rothschild and She Bank, its subsidiaries and associated companies. What's the significance of the arrows and the story behind them? The insight can be gleaned from the artistry of Moritz Oppenheim, famously known as the painter of the Rothschilds. Among his works, an oil sketch captures a narrative recounted by Plutarch of Scilurus. In this painting, 5 of Scilurus's sons, as depicted by Oppenheim, are shown attempting to break a bundle of darts. When they struggled, Scilurus demonstrated demonstrated how easily the individual arrows could be broken on their own. This allegorical scene serves as a reminder that the family's strength lies in their unity, echoing the ethos upheld by the Rothschild family. Even though the five brothers were working independently in different regions across Europe, they ensured that there was no lapse in communication. They interacted regularly with each other by sending letters with business-related details. The mode of courier, pigeons. At the time, postal services were emerging and were quite slow, so the Rothschilds relied heavily on pigeons to send short and important messages to each other. To maintain unity and secrecy, along with ensuring that the family wealth didn't go outside the Rothschild family, the older generations of Rothschilds married their first or second cousins. This was a common practice back in the day and was seen as a reliable means to preserve generational wealth. Although this was discontinued by the later generations of the wealthy family, they continued to find suitable marriage partners of a similar status, if not from the same family. Marriages were seen as business networking, expansion, and preserving opportunities. Battle of Waterloo, the turning point. The role played by Nathan Mayer Rothschild and his brothers in assisting the British government in financing military operations against Napoleon has become legendary. Operating under the banner of N.M. Rothschild in London, Nathan specialized in bullion and foreign exchange. His remarkable achievements in these domains led to him securing a contract from the British government. This contract involved supplying gold coins to Wellington's troops in 1814 and 1815 in the lead-up to the pivotal Battle of Waterloo. Nathan Rothschild himself purportedly regarded this venture as the best business I ever did. The significance of his actions was underscored by the Times in December 1823, stating the following: "Mr. Rothschild played so important a part in the history of the present generation that it is most probable that his proceedings will never be forgotten." In subsequent years, there were even claims that Nathan Rothschild amassed a substantial fortune after the Battle of Waterloo by acting on his advanced knowledge of the victory and strategically investing in the market. Some accounts went as far as suggesting that Nathan was physically present at the Battle of Waterloo and personally conveyed the initial news of victory. Supposedly, he rode through Europe on horses and crossed the English Channel in secrecy. However, meticulous scrutiny of Rothschild financial records has disproven these claims, establishing that such events did not occur. In 1814, after years of military campaigns, the British Army, led by Wellington, had pushed the French back to the Pyrenees region. However, the situation was dire as Wellington urgently needed funds to pay his troops. At this juncture, Nathan Rothschild, who was still a relatively new player in British banking, received a mandate from the British government to provide the necessary finances. Collaborating with his brothers, they devised a strategy that involved establishing a network of agents. These agents were tasked with acquiring coinage and converting it into local currency to be delivered to Wellington. The British government is believed to have turned to the firm of N.M. Rothschild due to their previous unsuccessful attempts to establish a similar network on their own. Established London firms had disappointed them, while the Rothschild family had earned a reputation for rapid and dependable courier services and communications. This reputation made them an attractive choice for such a mission, ensuring the swift and secure transfer of funds to support Wellington's military efforts. The Rothschilds were under significant pressure to achieve success in this endeavour. Nathan Rothschild comprehended that the triumph in this financial undertaking could open doors for future significant commissions from Britain and its allies. While it's a widely held belief that Nathan Mayer Rothschild gained at least £1 million or millions of pounds from his early access to information regarding the Battle of Waterloo, the supporting evidence isn't much. Unfortunately, due to the lack of contemporary records at New Court, their place of business, it's challenging to accurately determine the magnitude of Nathan's financial gain, resulting from his early knowledge of the battle's outcome. However, it is clear that he won Britain's trust and would go on to benefit greatly from this association. Within the Rothschild family, Nathan Rothschild was regarded as the leader of their parallel campaign during the Napoleonic Wars. The Battle of Waterloo underscored the triumph of Nathan's business strategy, which was founded on robust family connections and an unparalleled network of communication. This victory highlighted the effectiveness of their collaborative approach and the strength of their familial bonds in navigating the complex landscape of wartime finance and information dissemination. Here's what John Herries, British Commissary-in-Chief at the time of Waterloo, said in appreciation of Nathan Rothschild. "I, who know him so well, and who in the discharge of my public duty received so much assistance from him, can safely pronounce him to have been most capable, skillful, upright and liberal in the whole of course of his employment as an agent of the state." And after this, there was no looking back for the Rothschilds. Rothschild bonds, their best business strategy. During the 19th century, the main and most renowned facet of N.M. Rothschild and Sons business was centered around issuing bonds to raise loans, primarily for sovereign governments. These Rothschild bonds played a crucial role in shaping the modern world. The funds acquired through these bonds were instrumental in various endeavors, endeavors, from aiding newly established nations to constructing the infrastructure necessary for global economic progress. Some of these bonds, which were released by the Rothschild banks, remain privately held to this day, serving as a testament to their enduring influence in the field of finance and economic development. The process of issuing bonds was very straightforward. After concluding negotiations between Rothschild partners, senior managers, government officials, and ministers of a nation seeking financial resources, a prospectus detailing the terms of the bond would be produced. These, along with application forms, would be dispatched to individuals and firms that had expressed interest in response to newspaper advertisements promoting the bond issuance. Upon receiving deposit payments, individuals would be provided with scrip or subscription receipts, and the actual bond would only be sent once all payments were completed. These bonds were often examples of exquisite iconography and engraving, showcasing a blend of artistic beauty and intricate craftsmanship. The majority of bonds issued prior to the Second World War have long been fully repaid. The bonds that still exist from that era are often discovered without the attached coupons, which have already been redeemed. Bonds from this period, whether completely or partially redeemed, generally don't command a value exceeding their original face value. Only a small number of bonds with Rothschild as the paying agent remain valid, and these are typically associated with a limited selection of Brazilian bond issues. Old bonds can hold value as collector's items, akin to how old stamps, banknotes, and checks are sought after by collectors. This worth is derived from their historical and aesthetic significance rather than their original financial purpose. Cancelled and redeemed bonds, along with various other bond and loan-related documents like scrip, receipts, prospectuses, share certificates, and application forms, are all items of interest to collectors. These artifacts offer insights into the past and the intricacies of financial history, making them valuable from a historical and collectible perspective. So if anyone still has the old bonds from the Rothschilds, it's vintage treasure. The Rothschilds and gold. The Rothschilds' connection with gold trading is a significant chapter in both the history of gold trading and the Rothschild legacy. Spanning nearly 200 years starting from 1809, the engagement in gold trading, refining, and mining became integral to their business endeavors. Notably, as we talked about the Napoleonic Wars earlier in the video, the Rothschilds played a pivotal role by supplying gold to the Duke of Wellington. This act of providing gold contributed to saving Wellington's armies from a likely defeat. Let's see the role of the Rothschild family's gold trading excellence in helping Britain during the war. How were they able to pull off this mammoth task? The context of this involvement was rooted in the fact that between 1793 and 1815, Britain found itself in near constant conflict with France, which imposed substantial financial strains on the British exchequer. By 1813, Wellington's forces had managed to push the French back to the Pyrenees, but the financial situation remained dire. Wellington urgently required gold and silver coins that could be used locally for payments, food, and morale boosting among his troops. J.C. Herries, the commissary-in-chief for the British government, was tasked with financing and provisioning the British armies on the battlefield. Herries sought an intermediary capable of discreetly acquiring significant amounts of gold, all while avoiding alerting the French. In January 1814, he formally engaged Nathan Mayer Rothschild for this purpose. In the preceding 5 years, Nathan Rothschild had diligently developed a comprehensive network encompassing couriers, dealers, brokers, and bankers, all in service of facilitating his gold trading operations. This concerted effort enabled him to establish a significant foothold as a bullion broker within the City of London. When he received the commission from Herries, Nathan put his network to work by instructing his brothers situated across the continent. Their task was to discreetly acquire gold in modest quantities from various sources, ensuring that the market remained undisturbed. Once these discreet acquisitions were amassed, the gold was transported and conveyed to Wellington, stationed in southern France. This strategic movement of gold resources allowed Wellington to pay his troops, contributing substantially to the stability and effectiveness of his forces. In 1815, after Napoleon's escape from Elba and the ensuing need for financial resources for Wellington's armies, Nathan Rothschild once again proved adept at fulfilling the requirement. He effectively raised substantial amounts of funds in a brief period and suggested a solution to address the scarcity of coins by melting down bullion. Leveraging the financial resources mobilized by the Rothschild family, Wellington was enabled to provide payments for the sizable force of 209,000 soldiers from England, the Netherlands, and Prussia who had congregated in Belgium. This well-financed army played a pivotal role in the defeat of Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. The Rothschilds' relationship with gold continued to strengthen. Ascending in influence, Nathan Mayer Rothschild fostered a robust and intimate connection with the Bank of England. Throughout a significant portion of the early 1820s, Nathan played dual roles as a purchaser and borrower of both gold and silver from the bank. During a critical juncture in late 1825, the Rothschilds stepped in to prevent a financial financial crisis. They supplied a substantial quantity of gold to the Bank of England, thereby alleviating an acute shortage of coined gold that had befallen the bank. This timely intervention showcased the pivotal role played by the Rothschilds in maintaining the stability of the financial system during challenging times. In 1830, as a resolution to a loan default, the Spanish monarchy granted the Rothschilds control over the output of the Almaden mercury mines in southwest Spain. Mercury was a critical element in gold refining at the time. This grant effectively gave the Rothschilds a virtual worldwide monopoly on mercury production, granting them substantial influence over the gold refining process. The Rothschild family's involvement in refining traces back to 1827, when James de Rothschild established his own refinery in Paris. Their interests expanded significantly in 1852, when they acquired the lease for the Royal Mint refinery in London, which they held for well over a century. This acquisition was especially advantageous, as it positioned the Rothschilds to play a key role in refining the global gold output. The timing was opportune due to the influx of new supplies of gold from California and Australia in the 1850s. This series of ventures consolidated the Rothschilds' prominence in the refining industry, contributing to their significant influence in the broader landscape of finance and gold trading. The Rothschild family's art collection. The Rothschilds were passionate collectors who exhibited enthusiasm for a diverse range of items, from books to butterflies, stamps to silver. Among themselves, they engaged in friendly competition to build the most remarkable collections. The Grand Rothschild residences served as ideal showcases for housing silverware, porcelain, and fine art. Over time, many of these collections were generously bequeathed to libraries, galleries, and museums, where they remain on display today. The Rothschild family's affinity for collecting might have originated in the early days when they resided in the confined back streets of Frankfurt. Growing up there, the five brothers would have been exposed to the exquisite gold and silver antiques from the 16th and 17th centuries, which their father Meyer Amschel was involved in trading. This early exposure likely nurtured their appreciation for collecting and contributed to the tradition of amassing impressive and varied collections that became a hallmark of the Rothschild legacy. A generation later, the descendants of the Rothschild family, including Lionel in London and Meyer Karl in Frankfurt, displayed a fervent interest in collecting these coveted Schatzkammer treasures. Meyer Karl in particular amassed a staggering collection of around 5,000 pieces. Remarkably, almost a century after Nathan Meyer Rothschild departed Frankfurt for England, Adolf von Rothschild, a member of the Viennese branch, bequeathed to the Louvre in Paris one of the most exceptional compilations of gold and silver religious artifacts from the Middle Ages and Renaissance ever assembled. This dedication to collecting, spanning across generations and geographical branches, exemplifies the enduring passion and commitment to acquiring and preserving exquisite cultural and historical treasures within the Rothschild family. James, the youngest son of Meyer Amschel Rothschild, exhibited a keen passion for art collection. His acquisition of The Milkmaid, a work by the 18th century French artist Jean-Baptiste Greuze, marked the inception of a collecting journey that expanded in tandem with his growing wealth. Driven not only by a desire to showcase his refined taste and possessions on par with the French aristocracy, but also by genuine interest, James embarked on this collecting endeavor. The Rothschilds, with their bases in London, Paris, Vienna, Frankfurt, and Naples, expressed a strong affinity for the artistic creations of 18th century France. They eagerly sought after paintings, furniture, and porcelain, particularly from the renowned French Royal Porcelain Factory at Sèvres. Their interest extended to Flemish and Dutch old masters from the 17th century, as well as 18th century English portraitists such as Gainsborough and Romney. This collective appreciation for art, which came to be known as Le Goût Rothschild, exhibited remarkable consistency across the various branches of the family established in different European countries. Their shared taste and preference for artistic treasures further enriched their unique cultural legacy. James Rothschild was a trendsetter not only in his art collection, but also in his strategic approach to acquiring artwork. He pioneered the use of agents who possessed both artistic expertise and insider knowledge, much like the business agents who acted as their global network of information sources. Equipped with these capabilities, the Rothschilds extended their influence across European art markets, often preferring discreet private transactions over public auctions. They frequently engaged in more extensive acquisitions, opting to purchase entire collections rather than individual paintings. An impressive instance of this was when Lionel in London secured a deal for 82 old masters in a single acquisition in 1878. Upon his passing the following year, Lionel bequeathed to his three sons not only a penchant for collecting art, but also a well-developed collecting taste. As a testament to their shared passion, they followed in their father's footsteps, expanding their art collection. At the outset, they inherited a remarkable collection of 743 works of art, a tangible reflection of their dedication to preserving and appreciating cultural treasures. treasures. The Rothschild collections have found their way into diverse destinations through generous acts of philanthropy on a grand scale. Ferdinand, based at Waddesdon, bestowed upon the British Museum the remarkable Waddesdon Bequest, a collection showcasing splendid gold and silver artworks. Meanwhile, in France, Edmund, amidst his tireless efforts to establish Jewish colonies in Palestine, managed to assemble a collection of 40,000 prints and 6,000 drawings, which he generously gifted to the Louvre in 1936. His brother Alphonse was similarly industrious, accumulating over 2,000 pieces of contemporary French painting and sculpture, which he donated to more than 150 museums. These donations often served as the foundation for these institutions' collections. However, many items from the Rothschild collections were also dispersed through the passage of time, primarily through death and inheritance. A fresh generation of American collectors among the magnates of the United States eagerly acquired some of these works, now adorning the prominent galleries across the country. Unfortunately, the tumultuous war years saw the disappearance of some pieces from the collections due to the prevailing circumstances. The Rothschilds and wine. For nearly 150 years, the Rothschild name has been intrinsically linked to the world's most exceptional wines. The same innovative spirit that characterizes the family's financial endeavors also permeates their winemaking pursuits. The renowned Grand Crus of Chateau Mouton Rothschild and Chateau Lafite exemplify the family's dedication to producing wines that capture the essence of the vine's bounty. The journey into winemaking for the Rothschilds commenced in 1853. Nathaniel de Rothschild marked the beginning of this remarkable association with fine wine when he acquired Chateau Brun Mouton in Bordeaux's Medoc district. With a gesture that mirrored their financial achievements, he renamed it Chateau Mouton Rothschild, establishing the foundation for the family's legacy of producing exceptional wines that are truly representative of the vine's remarkable essence. In 1868, Baron James de Rothschild expanded the family's wine endeavors by acquiring the adjacent Chateau Lafite, one of France's premier cru estates. From 1974 to 2018, Baron Eric de Rothschild steered the direction of Chateau Lafite, delving into its potential commercial opportunities. This exploration led to the reorganization of the winemaking operations, forming Domaines Barons de Rothschild, with Lafite at its core. Expanding their influence to South America, Les Domaines Barons de Rothschild made a daring move in 1988 by acquiring a vast 2,000-hectare estate known as Vina Los Vascos in the Mount Canetan Valley near the Chilean coast. This initiative was followed in 2001 by a significant announcement, a partnership with Nicolas Catena, the visionary behind a flagship winery in Mendoza. Together they embarked on producing a Cabernet Sauvignon Malbec blend near Godoy Cruz in Mendoza, utilizing grapes sourced from various Catena vineyards. This journey reflects the Rothschild family's continued commitment to exploring and innovating in the world of winemaking, both in their traditional Bordeaux domain and across continents. In 2011, Domaines Barons de Rothschild, the owner of Chateau Lafite, embarked on a groundbreaking endeavor in collaboration with China International Trust and Investment Corporation, or CITIC. This partnership marked the initiation of their first Chinese vineyard, located in Penglai, Shandong Province, China. The objective was to create Bordeaux-style wines, crafted from grape varieties such as Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, Cabernet Franc, Merlot and Marcelin on the Chinese terroir. Penglai, situated within the Shandong Valley, underwent significant transformation through the combined efforts of Domaines Barons de Rothschild and CITIC to prepare the grounds for planting. The historic project symbolizes the family's commitment to innovation and exploration as they strive to cultivate high-quality wines that reflect the Bordeaux tradition on the distinctive Chinese terrain. In April 2018, a significant milestone was achieved within the Rothschild legacy as Saskia de Rothschild, the daughter of Baron Eric, assumed the leadership of a first-growth Bordeaux estate. This marked a historic moment, making Saskia the youngest individual to take charge of such a prestigious Bordeaux estate. Additionally, she achieved the distinction of becoming the first female chairwoman of Domaines Barons de Rothschild's Lafite, the expansive global wine enterprise that encapsulates the family's diverse wine ventures. While the Rothschild estates in Bordeaux maintain their prosperous growth and evolution, the family has also embraced the possibilities presented by emerging wine-growing regions across the globe. With a forward-looking perspective, they have embarked on ventures beyond Bordeaux, extending their presence to various parts of France, Portugal, California, South America, and Asia. Often collaborating with well-established and esteemed winemakers, these endeavors reflect their commitment to exploring diverse terroirs and contributing to the viticultural landscapes of different regions. The Rothschilds are more than just finance and banking. Besides their main business, their interests in art and winemaking have led to constant innovation across generations. Their entrepreneurial acumen and spirit, which has lasted more than 2 centuries, is truly inspiring. If you'd like to watch more such inspiring videos of success, click on one of the cards on your screen.